day long, and we're going to see that quiet, lower humidity type weather continue as well. This afternoon, highs reaching the upper 80s. We're going to be warmer than yesterday, but still we're not going to be adding anything to this temperature with the heat index. Obviously, that's going to be changing going forward this week after today and tomorrow. So let's savor the dry, more comfortable weather while we have it. June will be Juning, a little bit more typical Mississippi June weather in store soon. Keely?
All right, thanks, Isaac. It's good to have you back in studio. But first this morning, a pilot is left without injuries after a plane crash over the weekend. Now, the incident happened around Saturday afternoon on Petersburg Road in New Hope. Now, the pilot called the incident into emergency 911. Now, several emergency agencies were on scene. Now, luckily, no injuries were reported. And in Amory, residents will soon have a new storm shelter. City leaders broke ground on the shelter near Fire Station 2, one of the areas hit hard by the 2023 tornado. Now, the $1 million project will be mostly funded by federal relief grants. Now, it'll hold 256 people, include restrooms, generator power, and meet ADA standards. Now, leaders say the EF3 tornado changed how the city prepares for severe weather. The project is expected to take 9 to 12 months to complete. Well, municipal elections kick off tomorrow, and one group of women are making sure Columbus residents had the opportunity to better know their candidates. So the League of Women Voters of the Golden Triangle area hosted a public forum in Columbus. Now, candidates were asked questions by a moderator and were given a set amount of time to speak. Now, attendees of the forum were also able to ask questions of the candidates, and the following forum citizens were able to meet with candidates one-on-one. Now, Callie Poole with the League of Women Voters of the Golden Triangle area said municipal elections are among the most important as they affect people's daily lives.
These elections are the ones that are going to affect us the most. State and federal elections are important, but these are the ones that are going to have the direct impact on our daily lives.
This is what really affects our city, our county, where we live. These are the people in our neighborhood who care about us and take time out of their lives to try to reinvest in the community. And I really believe that voting in your local elections is very important. It affects your life so much more than you realize.
Now, municipal elections for Mississippi will take place on Tuesday, and you can tune in right here at WCBI to stay up to date with results as they roll in. Well, the former Central Academy in Macon has been vacant for several years, but it will soon have a new lease on life. Now, a Macon couple has purchased the property with plans to help grow the city's future. Kamari Hamer talked with the couple about those plans and brings us the details.
Macon resident Montreal Rucker and others are walking down the hallway of what will soon be a new school.
This is an investment back into our community. We came across this property and it helps meet our long-term goals, so we decided to invest to try to revitalize this property.
Rucker purchased the former Central Academy. The school has been vacant since 2017 when it closed due to a decline in enrollment. He and his wife had a new vision for the property. He says the plan is to use part of one of the buildings as a private school for kindergartens to 12th graders. The other half will be a daycare.
We want to bring some comfort to people that's living in the area. That this just won't be a place where crime can be done or go unnoticed. So hopefully, we all as a community can pitch into this endeavor to, make it a great place.
Rucker also says turning the empty buildings into something useful will be a huge benefit for all Noxubee County residents, but he knows that it will take a team effort.
As a native of Noxubee County, we are reaching out and we are asking other Noxubee Countyans to join us in this endeavor, because this is not my success, but if I win, we all win. It's not about us, but it's as a community, because it's going to take the community to make it work.
Work on the building is expected to be completed by Friday, June 13th.
Well, the name of the school will be the New Vision School, and Rucker tells WCBI that 47 kids have already enrolled for next school year. Now, he also says they are looking for volunteers or financial donations from the community to help finish the project. Well, turning now to local crime, a Caledonia man is in jail on child sex charges. Now, deputies arrested 62-year-old Charles Raymond Hughes for sexual battery and molestation, touching a child for lustful purposes. Now, the case began earlier this month after a family member reported Hughes had inappropriate contact with a child he had custodial access to. Now, the victim, under the age of 12, has since moved out of state. During a forensic interview, she reported multiple incidents. Now, the investigation is ongoing and more charges could be filed. Now, Hughes has not yet had a court appearance. Well, sting agents arrested a man in Columbus for allegedly selling meth. 47-year-old Redmond Coney is facing 2 counts of sale of methamphetamine and 2 counts of trafficking in a controlled substance. Now, the Lowndes County Narcotics Unit began investigating after receiving information from a citizen. Now, agents arrested Coney last Friday. He's in the Lowndes County Adult Detention Center, and his first court appearance is scheduled for today. Well, narcotics agents in Lowndes County arrested 3 men in separate cases for alleged drug activity. 65-year-old David Easter is facing a charge of trafficking of a controlled substance. 56-year-old Carrie Chappell and 52-year-old Jason Hines are charged with possession of methamphetamine with intent to distribute. Now, deputies made the arrests Thursday and Friday. A judge set bond for Easter at $50 grand. A bond hasn't been set yet for Chappell, and a judge denied bond for Hines. And law enforcement in Lee County were able to find a murder weapon with help from a furry friend. K-9 officer Bradley Starling and his partner K-9 Charlie were called to help the Lee County Sheriff's Office in a very important investigation. Now, a firearm believed to be used in a double homicide in Lee County had reportedly been thrown into a wooded area. Now, despite the thick overgrowth, Charlie quickly got to work, and within moments he showed behavioral changes and signs that he smelled the weapon. Now, Officer Starling moved in and confirmed that K-9 Charlie had found the firearm. Now, thanks to Charlie's detection skills and the teamwork between agencies, this weapon was recovered and turned over to investigators. Well, hundreds of senior citizens of Prentiss County learned valuable information to help them avoid falling victims to scams. Now, Prentiss County Sheriff Randy Toller held the annual Triad Senior Citizens Appreciation Day on Friday. Now, seniors enjoyed entertainment and food provided by the local community, and it was also an opportunity for various community groups to let seniors know about services available. Now, the event also allowed law enforcement agencies to warn seniors about various scams and let them know how to avoid becoming a victim.
Nowadays, when someone calls them up offering them something, they take it at face value for whatever the person's telling them. Right. So there's so many opportunities out there to be scammed. We just caution them, and a common catchphrase is, if it sounds too good to be true, it probably is.
Now, if you think you may have fallen a victim to a scam, contact your local law enforcement. Well, the time is now 7:09, and here's a live sunny look over our Durham's Pharmacy camera in Vernon. Stay with us here on Sunrise. We've got more news coming up after the break. Welcome back, everyone. So investigators continue to search for a motive after an attack at a mall in Colorado. Now, several people were injured during that attack on Sunday. The victims were holding a peaceful protest calling for the release of hostages in Gaza when they were burned. Now, this anti-Semitic attack comes just a week after 2 workers were killed at the Israeli embassy in Washington, D.C. Fox News' Ted Linder has the details.
The FBI is investigating this as an act of terrorism.
Law enforcement in Boulder, Colorado say 6 people were injured Sunday at an outdoor mall during a targeted attack involving flammable weapons that sent officers rushing to the scene.
They immediately ran into a chaotic situation where a man was throwing Molotov cocktails and using other devices to hurt people.
The attack happened as members of the group Run for Their Lives gathered for a demonstration to raise awareness for the remaining hostages being held by Hamas in Gaza.
Witnesses are reporting that the subject used a makeshift flamethrower and threw an incendiary device into the crowd. The suspect was heard to yell, "Free Palestine," during the attack.
The victims' ages range from 67 to 88. All of them have been transported to local hospitals.
There's a woman who was on the ground bleeding out. Oh my gosh, sorry.
And then we noticed 2 other people that had also been affected by the burns on their legs.
A 45-year-old suspect was taken into custody. Police, canines, and Bob Squad teams shut down several downtown blocks as they searched for any possible devices.
We believe that the initial report of 2 suspects, we have not been able to confirm that, and we're fairly confident we have the lone suspect in custody.
Prosecutors are promising justice as the investigation continues.
We are fully united, 100%, in making sure the charges we bring hold the attacker fully accountable.
Ted Linder, Fox News.
And the manhunt for a former police chief convicted of murder and rape continues in Arkansas and beyond, more than a week after a Grant Hardin escaped. Now, the FBI is offering information leading to his arrest, warning that he is armed and extremely dangerous. Fox News' Brooke Taylor reports more from Arkansas.
It has now been a week since Grant Hardin escaped prison. This is someone who's been nicknamed the Devil in the Ozarks after a documentary was made about him, making this all the more concerning. This was the last time he was seen on Sunday afternoon wearing this makeshift police uniform. The Department of Corrections says he tricked a corrections officer into opening that security gate. They're looking into why the verification process was just ignored and whether he got any inside help. We're told this is a round-the-clock operation with hundreds of officers on the ground searching for Hardin. Law enforcement set up checkpoints around Calico Rock, stopping drivers and spreading the word. Wanted posters also seen everywhere on the windows of local businesses. While there have been some calls about possible sightings, the Department of Corrections says none of them have led to anything credible. They have faced some major challenges and setbacks, including heavy rain, which grounded helicopters and drones and made it difficult for canines. The rugged terrain around the prison has also been problematic. There's a ton of hiding spots in the Ozark Mountains. Officials say there's hundreds of caves and even abandoned cabins. Hardin was once the police chief in the small town of Gateway. In 2017, he pleaded guilty to murdering a city worker. It was DNA from that crime that linked him to an unsolved rape of a 1997 elementary school teacher. He was sentenced to a combined 80 years. A retired Arkansas police chief spoke to Fox and Friends about his experience with Hardin, who once worked for him.
He's not a good person. He is not a good person. And I was surprised when he escaped. You know, he is the kind of person that will capitalize on anything he can get hold of to further himself.
And the reward for his arrest has now been upped to a combined $25,000. The FBI calling him armed and extremely dangerous. In Gateway, I'm Brooke Taylor, Fox News.
7:16, a sunny start to the day. We're going to be looking at even warmer weather for the rest of the week. I've got the forecast in the 7-day up next.
Your WCBI First Alert forecast with Chief Meteorologist Isaac Williams.
$7:19 the time this morning. Warm and less humid weather is going to start us off this week. We enjoyed it yesterday. We actually had a pretty nice weekend, but it's June in Mississippi, so that humidity is increasing for the middle and end of the week. And then for the weekend, this upcoming Saturday and Sunday, we're looking at some additional rain and storm chances to come back as we look at that humidity kind of get back into that muggy category, second from the highest level, which is miserable. We're not quite there yet, but we're going to be trending in that more humid direction through the week. This morning, though, we're enjoying lots of sunshine, already seeing a little haze in the sky, and that's going to continue to be with us through most of the day today. Otherwise, the weather is going to be really nice as we look at temperature this morning at 64, 68 in Nashville and Memphis, 66 in Jackson. We're looking at those 70s on the coast, so we're at least having some enjoyable morning time this morning before we get into the afternoon, where it is going to be hotter than yesterday, but still with that lower humidity, this 88 is not going to feel any hotter, which is good news. Plenty of sunshine will continue at least through the day today and into your Tuesday. As we take a look here, Tuesday, plenty of sunshine continues there. Now, Wednesday will offer up a slight change. We're going to see a little bit more moisture, a slight increase in the cloud coverage out there as well. And for Wednesday afternoon, notice we'll see a few showers try to make their way in from the south and east. Otherwise, the best chance of rain and storms on Wednesday is over central and south Georgia into portions of the Florida Panhandle and Florida Peninsula. Our rain chances will increase slowly for the weekend. We're looking at, other than Wednesday, mostly dry weather sticking around through the rest of the week. But Saturday, again, some showers and storms possible in the afternoon and evening. And same thing on Sunday as we look ahead into the afternoon and evening hours. This is just one model run, and right now it's showing dry weather holding through 7 p.m. on Sunday. I would prepare for some storms at times here. I'm expecting a little bit of flip-flopping with the timing, but overall here, upcoming weekend looking a little bit more active than what we just enjoyed after a very, very active month of May. 7-day forecast here, 88 today, 62 tonight, and then we kind of transition more into some typical June weather. 90 on Tuesday afternoon. Those overnight lows will be warming up as well. And then again, those rain chances build slightly for the weekend.
Isaac, it's so great to have you back in studio. It's been a long 2 weeks.
It has. We traveled a lot and drove a lot and ate a lot of fast food.
A lot of fast food.
Yeah, so, I mean.
And let me tell you, I am a cheater when it comes to some cooking things. My homemade girl came in. I made I made homemade Alfredo sauce.
I saw that you made some chocolate gravy and biscuits the other day, too.
You would be proud. But, guys, we're going to have more of an update on the storm chase whenever we come back from the break. Stay with us.
telling your story on WCBI Sunrise with Keely Shields.
All right, guys, welcome back into Sunrise. So, look, a familiar face is finally back.
I've been on your screens, but from afar.
Yeah.
The last couple weeks,
I guess first of all, before we get to our storm chase, how was, doing live hits from the field every morning?
Getting up at the time we do is what I would call not easy, but like it's kind of second nature. But like on the chase after you've driven so long.
Yeah.
The last thing I wanted to do is get up at 6:30.
Exactly.
Live shot. But it's fine. It was good. It was actually good because I did it at 6:45 and 7:15, and in between the hits, we always stayed at a Holiday Inn Express. I'd go down and get me some free breakfast. Free continental breakfast at that, and it was really nice. But that's what we've done the past 2 weeks. We crisscrossed the country. You guys followed along every single morning on air and online.
And Charlie and Addison came together and have us a recap. So let's take a look.
Isaac and I have been storm chasing on the plains. Let's go ahead and recap. Day 1 was a moderate risk in Kansas, and we saw a gorgeous low precipitation supercell at sunset. We saw some marble-sized hail and a beautiful structured storm. We even ran into a famous storm chaser, Reed Timmer. On day 2 was another moderate risk, this time further east into Oklahoma. We encountered some warning storms and even launched a weather balloon to collect some atmospheric data. There we are analyzing it. We did see some lowerings on this day and some beautiful lightning. On day 3, we had an off day, no storms for us to chase, so we headed into Fort Worth and went to the zoo and even saw the cattle drive. Day 4, we got to go to the National Weather Center and tour the SPC, the Storm Prediction Center, and NWS Norman, as well as went into OKC to visit the memorial. On day 5, we continued into Texas. Near Wichita Falls, we saw some beautiful storms with some great structure and a lot of hail. Day 6, we trekked northward into Colorado, and we encountered a supercell that gave us our first tornado. This is the first tornado Addison and I have ever seen, and it was beautiful. It just danced out in the field in front of us, damaging no one. On day 7, we trekked further into Colorado near Denver, and we saw so much hail it actually looked like snow, and the storms out there were, once again, beautiful. Day 8, we trekked southward back into Texas. We got to take in the beautiful Texas landscape with another gorgeous supercell, and this one spun quite a bit but did not produce a tornado for us. Otherwise, though, it was great to take in. Day 9, we trekked southward even further into Texas. We saw a supercell that produced a blue sky and a gorgeous-looking shelf cloud with some hail as well. We also saw quite a spectacular rainbow and light show at night with some gorgeous mammatus to cap off the evening. Day 10, we trekked towards Fort Stockton, Texas. I got to launch the balloon this time, first time I've ever done that. And we sat around, we watched some storms. They tried to get their act together, but unfortunately for our purposes, they never really got to do so. We did get to cap off the day with some great Mexican food and a nice rainbow. Day 11, we trekked back into Kansas. There's Isaac doing some radar analysis, Theo releasing a weather balloon for us to get some data, and we saw what can only be described as a mothership of a supercell with a gorgeous ending to our trip.
Okay, what is that called where the clouds are like that?
So that's basically, it's a laminar structure / striations, but basically it happens when the atmosphere is set up to not necessarily support tornadoes as much, but that's the best kind of storm to see because we'd already seen a tornado and we were hoping for some great structure, and we really didn't see that good of a structure until the last day. So
of course it would be the last day.
And we saw the tornado on our 7th day. It was Friday in Colorado, of all places.
And then where was the best place y'all ate the whole time y'all were out on the road?
Gosh, so that Mexican place that Charlie mentioned, I think I would give the nod to, there was this place called Tavern 1301 in Lamar, Colorado. Fantastic. It looked like a rainforest inside, but like the vibes were immaculate.
Immaculate. We'll end on the break to that one.